But as the introduction said, I am a wife and mom, and a marriage and family therapist, and typically I'm someone who loves her anonymity. If you see me in the grocery store, you sometimes might see me like this, but I just really prefer to not be noticed sometimes. I'm just an introvert, so it's that I have become a spokesperson, a speaker, an activist, and I'm going to tell you about how I kind of stumbled into that and how I kind of got into the sex industry. So not the way you think. But I just think there's sex over, right? So really just to kind of give you a backdrop, as a marriage and family therapist for the last 15 years, being in private practice, I work with a lot of families and individuals who have been affected by pornography in different ways, just kind of devastated by it, to be honest, and seen a lot of struggling marriages and kind of worked through the healing process with a lot of people. Grieved with a lot of people who lost jobs, maybe had to go to prison for different things, just a lot of heartache. But, sorry, 3 years ago, I had some families bring in small children that were revealing. That were addicted to, these small children were addicted to pornography. I had like 6-year-old to 11-year-old little boys and little girls that were seriously addicted to pornography. I didn't even fully understand what children could be addicted to. I knew that a lot of the adult addicts that I worked with said they first were exposed at 5, 6, 7, things like that. But I never really understood that this really was a compulsive behavior for children. So you see these little girls, little boys who are stealing devices, breaking the neighbor's house in the middle of the night on several occasions to get into pornography because they couldn't get it at home. The neighbors would call and be like, "Oh, your son's on our computer again. You can get him." And I mean, children. And so these kids, I've learned when the child is exposed to pornography, it's tantamount to child sex abuse. So these kids, upon exposure, didn't know what to do with it, so they would often act out on other children and playmates. So it created a cycle of sexual abuse. And it was just horrifying. So at the same time I'm seeing this in my private practice and talking to these parents, and they're saying my child's not the same. In some cases, these children couldn't bond with the parents the same way that they once had. And it was a little eerie when they're just like, some of them were just really, And so I was seeing this in my private practice, and I would go home, turn on the TV at night, and the sitcoms and a lot of the night shows, talk shows, would talk about pornography like it was no big deal. It's a legitimate form of entertainment, everybody does it, normalize it, And I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing to this generation of children that are having just total access to this poison that's really affecting them developmentally, socially. So I started to get really disturbed about this and didn't know what to do about it. One day I was just driving my car, and there's this song from the 80s. I may not remember this, you weren't probably in diapers, but it was a song called Angel Was a Centerfold. It's a real catchy tune. And anyway, it came on the radio, like on 106.9, and the song was on. Normally I would just like, whatever, maybe sing with it even, but this time it came on and I became enraged. Like, I felt like I was about to rip the radio out of my car. And I just screamed out, and I was like, God, what do you want me to do about this? I've got such a burden. And instantly, I saw billboards everywhere I looked. Driving down the road, I could not drive down the road without seeing billboards with these catchy slogans that would wake people up to the crisis at hand. So I was like, okay, I'll do a billboard. I don't know how to do a billboard, but I'll do a billboard. So I thought, I'm going to do a billboard. It's going to be an awareness-raising billboard. I need to have a website that's going to educate people with the facts, that's going to give people resources for help, and that's going to help people understand how to get involved and make a difference. So I am the least tech-savvy person on the planet. It'll be amazing if I can work this clicker. And so I started researching, trying to build my own website. I came across this group, which is now known as the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. They've been around for over 50 years. And I saw their website, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want. It has everything on it that I need, but I need it on a state level. So I called them, and they were like, hey, come under our 501c3 status. We will help you do this. This is something we wanted to do, so it just really worked out well. They were amazing, built a website for me. I sent out a letter to just the people I knew, and within 2 weeks we had raised $9,000, enough to put up a billboard for 3 months in a prime location in Birmingham. So I started looking for locations, and I'm about to show you the billboard. Well, I'll tell you the billboard design. is actually a picture of a little girl with a price tag hanging around the back of her neck, and you'll see that in a moment. Because I had also started to learn about the links between pornography and trafficking. Really not even links. Pornography is trafficking, and trafficking is pornography. They're basically one and the same. According to all the research, according to everything we're learning, pornography fuels human trafficking, and they are completely trafficking. Victims are made to produce pornography, and there's a lot of overlap that we can talk about later. So I was learning about that. I said people need to understand, because people hate trafficking, they need to understand that every click enslaves, that they're completely linked, and they're basically one and the same in many cases. So I'll show you the billboard. And this is I-20. It's called the Human Trafficking Corridor of the United States. And as I did through the Billboard project, I was starting to learn that in 2012, estimates of 15,000 women and children were trafficked through our city limits in 2012. This is the billboard design that we ended up going with. It's pretty graphic, pretty alarming, but this is a very startling issue. So I'm like, if I get one shot at helping people wake up and see what's going on, I'm going to make it count. So this was our website, and the billboard was placed right here. Coming down the I-20 corridor, you have a long shot of seeing it, and hundreds of thousands of interstate drivers come through I-20 every day. So we had a lot of great views, and thousands of people went to our website for resources and help. So that billboard was there for about 3.5 months, and I was prepared for media backlash. I didn't know what to expect because other people may have similar spoken out on pornography. Sometimes people are not really happy about that, but our city was incredible. We had interviews with all the major news outlets, and were covered in the newspapers and on the radio, and it was all very positive, which was wonderful. And so as the billboard went up, all these human trafficking nonprofits came out of the woodwork and started to say, we're behind what you're doing because we know that pornography fuels human trafficking. And there was a lot of Birmingham-based nonprofits that really worked to fight domestic and international human trafficking. So I got connected to all these leaders, and it was wonderful to see that we were all pretty much on the same battle lines here. So we decided to come together and to do another event that would be a citywide awareness-raising concert in Railroad Park. So in 2013, in October 2013, we had an event called Freedom Night, and at this event we had Sister Hazel came out and performed. We had speakers. Steve Buckler was there, and it was a great night to just kind of begin to promote these human trafficking nonprofits and also to educate the public on the links between these issues. So I thought I was done after all this. I really was like, okay, we've done my part. But I wasn't done. After this, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation asked me to join their board. And I was honored to do that. And then also, the people kept coming out of the woodwork and said, we want to do something with our state. We want to join forces. There's so much more to accomplish. So we've also formed what's called the Alabama Coalitions in Sexual Exploitation, or ALACs, and it's in its earlier stages of development. So these projects just keep coming up, and my passion really is to educate the public, to help them see what's really going on, to understand the harms. When you have, like with pornography, there's no Surgeon General warning that this is highly addictive material, and that it can affect your life in these extremely deleterious ways, through lowered self-esteem, depression, erectile dysfunction, relational issues, decreased sexual satisfaction. Nobody tells you that. So I think that there needs to be more awareness about that, and also for the children that are innocently playing on their parents' iPhone. Parents need to be educated. So we're actually planning a citywide educational conference for parents and educators, and what we call Porn-Proof Kids, Guiding and Guarding in the Age of the Internet. And we'll have some tech experts and some great presenters that really help parents understand how to be equipped to begin to talk about this and shift this around for this young generation so that we won't continue to just give way to this pandemic of harm that is affecting our nation and other nations. So, but this conversation will have to be had by all of us. this is something that our voices will have to be able to really begin to generate conversation and education for this giant, which is sexual exploitation, for it to be toppled. So I invite you to enter into the awkward, sometimes awkward, but necessary conversation about sexual exploitation with me. Thank you guys so much.